Hopefully you cannot tell, I just went to the gym. Hey guys, it's Christina. Welcome back. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing the Torture Poets Department by Taylor Swift. As you can see by the title and the thumbnail, I'm so excited to talk about this. It's been a little bit over a week since it's released. Let me tell you, I know because I haven't posted in 2 weeks, and it's been a week since it's released, over a week. And so I'm so excited to finally debrief with you guys about the album. And so I just wanted to go over my favorites, my least favorites, my thoughts on the whole album overall, and yeah. So let's get into it. So first of all, my thoughts on that album. I think it's one of her best. It's one of my top 5 albums, I'm pretty sure. I'm doing the math. I'm going to put my ranking somewhere here for all the albums, which is going to be the ranking I have in mind while I'm editing. It probably will change after I upload it already, so keep that in mind, but I think it's one of her best albums yet, and I cannot wait to share my thoughts with you guys. So first of all, we're gonna go over the songs I don't really remember or I haven't listened to that much, so I can get those out of the way. First of all being Robin. Cassandra, sort of. I do like that song, but I haven't listened to it enough. Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus, have not listened to that enough. The Albatross, and that's it, pretty much. And now we're gonna get into the real nitty-gritty of the album. So we're gonna start with the very first song, which is Fortnite with Post Malone. And I think this is just a good single and such a good song to do a music video to, and just a good first opening song to an album. And I love Posty in this, and I think it's such a fun, danceable song. This Saturday I am going to a Taylor Fest, like a clubbing but with Taylor music, and I will be vlogging that, so keep an eye for that, and I cannot wait to hear the song live. Well, live. The second song is the Torture Poets Department. I also really like the song, not as much as the first one. It's a good title track. I like the rhythm to it for sure. I like the rhythm to most of the songs actually, so that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Then we have My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. Oh my god, I think this is like one of my top 10 out of the album, which is saying a lot because it's 31 songs. I think it's such a good song, and I think it's very representative of today's society when it comes to men and dating. I think it's a great representation, and I like the music to the song is kind of different to what she's been doing over her career, and I really like that, even though it's a little different, and actually different from my taste as well. The next song is Down Bad, and this is one of my favorites, of course, but I love this song and cannot wait to jam out to it when like it's blaring through the speakers. I think it's a very relatable song, so that's why I like it a little bit more than the others, and I just love the beat to it, and like it's just so vibey, and like yeah, definitely a top 5. So Long London. I cannot express how like I love this song, and I haven't listened to it that much, but I do love this song because it reminds me of like this whole situation where you're with someone you love, and then you start to share something you both love, then you break up, and then you lose that thing, and it just hurts so much. Like you're not only losing that person, you're losing that place or that thing, and it's just so relatable and like so perfectly captured, and just like you're like slowly letting go, because if you do that thing, it's gonna hurt you. So you know. It's a really good song. The next song is But Daddy, I Love Him, and I love the song. I think it's so fun. I think it's so funny. I think Taylor really caught us on that one as 50s. If you know, you know. I really think it's a fun song, and I also, again, cannot wait to dance to all of these songs, especially the sad ones and like slow ones, because there's sad but upbeat ones. And I love it. Such a good song, and I think the title was hands down perfect. Like it had everybody wondering like what the heck is she gonna sing about, and I don't think anybody saw this kind of song coming like the lyrics and the music, so it's perfect. It's like a deceiving title, I guess, or like a title that makes you think. The next is Fresh Out the Slammer. At first I didn't have any thoughts about this song, but then I saw this one edit on TikTok, and I was like, oh my gosh. And now I love it. And also it's like such a fun song. Like the music in this album is really good. Jack Antonoff and Aaron, I'm not gonna try and say his name, really outed themselves when it came to the production and all of that and lyrics, but as well as Taylor Swift. But yeah, I really like Fresh All the Summer. Next song is Florida, and I love Florida. I go to Florida very, very often, and I think the lyrics and the story behind the song is very representative of Florida, unfortunately, but also fortunately, because it's true. Very well spoken story. I did not word that right, but I hopefully you understand. And it's just a fun song and like jamming out. And this is definitely like a beat drop kind of song, and it's just perfect. And I cannot wait to listen to this in the summer when I'm back in Florida. It's gonna be so fun. The next one is Guilty as Sin, which is also one of my top 5. I think this one's even more relatable as like a reader and as a girl who's never really had a boyfriend. So it's like, you know, I'm having all these thoughts and like, but we haven't even like, you know, really interacted with each other. So I think it's very fun and representative of girlhood and like being a teenager or in your 20s. And I think it also kind of represents like you having like a book boyfriend and you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm in love with him, but like he's not real. So I think it's a really fun song because of that too, and also I love the music. I'm gonna keep saying I love the music in this album because it's true. So you can count the amount of times I've said it. I'm sure you're gonna black out if you do shots to it too. So next song is Who's Afraid of a Little Old Me, and this was giving No Body No Crime, Reputation, like Look What You Made Me Do, and like the Last Great American Dynasty, and I'm living for it. It's so good. I cannot wait to scream the bridge and like the chorus and like it's so good. And I think it can be applied to so many situations, so it's like relatable no matter like the scenario you put in your head. So 10 out of 10. All of them are 10 out of 10, to be honest. The next one is I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can. And it's one of the songs I picked like out of my fan group. I was like, that's my song. Because low-key I relate to the title very much so. And when I was listening to it, I was like, oh, Taylor was definitely in my walls when she was writing the song. So I love this song. It's my top 1. I also love the ending, like, oh, maybe I can't. And it's just like so real. So real. I would talk about the song forever, so I'm gonna keep going, but I really, really like the song, and again, I feel like she just did such a good job. This album is phenomenal. I couldn't say this word the other day either. I don't know why, but I love this album. It's amazing. It's perfect. It's one of her best, like I've already said. The next album is Love of My Life / Loss of My Life, and I cannot express how sad this song makes me. At first I was like, but now I'm like, oh my god, like, I'm gonna puddle into tears every time I just hear the song. This girl was going through it. She was going through it. And listen, I'm so glad this song didn't come out at a certain time in my life, because if it did, I would have been going through it too. Okay? Even though I probably had no reason to be relating to it, but I would have found a way. The next song is the one and only I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, and I love this song. I feel kind of bad because people are saying this is about Tori. I'm like, she was like so sad and she was doing all this for us, and I'm like, but you know what, she got through it. She's stronger now. She's with Travis. She's a billionaire. She, you know, has accomplished all these things. Like, the whole album is on the Billboard 100. Like, it's amazing. And so this song is so like representative. Like, you can make it even with a broken heart, and like you just gotta push through it. And I really, really, really like that, besides the sad parts about it, because you know what, the world's not gonna end if he doesn't like you back. The world's not gonna end if he breaks up with you, because you know what, there is better. If he breaks up with you, there is better than him. So, or her. The next song is The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, and I feel like this song deserves no explanation. I think it's a 10 out of 10. I think she encapsulated that anger and pain so well in the song, and I think there's no like, it's one of her best songs, like across the board, in my opinion. Even though it's not my favorite of the album, it's one of her best songs across the board. Then the next song is I Like Me. First love song on the album, next to the So High School, which I'm gonna combine it to. We love Travis. We love that she makes her feel this way. I love that she's like goody and like, you know, honeymoon phase, and I hopefully that never goes away, and hopefully their endgame. He's definitely my favorite boyfriend of hers so far, so hopefully they become married and they have beautiful children. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, if they want to, but I really hope he sticks for the long run because she is so happy with him, and that's what she deserves and more. Next song is the last song on what is the Torture Poets Department, and it's Clairbout, and I think this is such a beautiful, sad song. It kind of does represent all the women in the music industry and like the entertainment industry, and kind of how they get hurt. You know, they were so good, but then, you know, they kind of got hurt, and then they come back, sort of. You know, she has such cute comparisons, like with Stevie Nicks, and then she brings up herself, and it just reminded me of like Sabrina, like looking up to her, and then Gracie Abrams and all that, and I think it's a beautiful, sad song, but also happy song. The next song is my favorite on the anthology. It is The Black Dog, the first song. I think this song encapsulates that feeling of like, oh my god, like, you're leaving me, and like, why? Especially with the tone she uses, like, you can kind of feel like she's going like this, and like the lyrics, and it's just so relatable, even though it's like it's not that poetic. But I really like this song. The next song is also one of my favorites, I'm Gonna Get You Back. Yeah, one of her best so far in my opinion. I think it's so girly and so girlhood and so real to our generation. I think it represents how all the girls feel when they're in a situationship and they're not getting the right clues, or they're getting mixed signals, and you're like, I hate you, but I like you, and like, what? So it's a perfect song for that. And it goes along with Bad Idea Get Him Back by Olivia Rodrigo. The next song is Albatross, which we said we're gonna skip, as well as Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus. I'm deciding to skip How Did It End because also I haven't listened to that one too much. The next song is I Hate It Here, because we also talked about So High School already. And I Hate It Here I really like, because when I first listened to it, and still when I listen to it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this reminds me of books and getting into different worlds and skipping this one, which often I'm like, oh, I just wish I was like in one of my books instead of like here, because my books are more fun and like they're more creative and like, you know, magical and all that stuff, or romantic. But that's how I felt, and especially thinking of my fantasy books, and that's how I feel when I listen to it every single time. Next is Thank You Amy, and I just want to say I would also write a Thank You Amy song if I had someone do me as dirty as Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Just saying. And this is why it is such a good song, such a petty song, and for all the right reasons. The next song is I Look in People's Windows, and at first I was like, girly Taylor, that's low-key kind of creepy, and I still think that, but when I realized the meaning of this song, I was like, oh, it's like, kind of like, you know, you break up with someone and you're like, I just want to see them one last time, and you're kind of thinking you're seeing them everywhere, but you want to see them everywhere, but then they're not everywhere, and that's kind of how it felt to me, and I think that's kind of like realistic and like real, even though it is kind of creepy look in people's windows. But I'm also like very nosy, so I do that on the daily. Not like that though. Not like that. Then the next song is The Prophecy, and The Prophecy with the manuscript, which I'm going to include in together. Like I said, with The Love of My Life, one of Taylor's most saddest songs on the album. I'd say The Prophecy is one of her saddest overall, and I really love these songs. I think they're so sad. And The Prophecy, I think is very relatable, especially with the lyric going around, the Let It Once Be Me, and I think she did a really good job with these two songs, The Prophecy and the manuscript. Next song is Cassandra. I think I did say I was going to skip over this, but I just want to say it gives me Evermore vibes. That's all I remember, because I haven't listened to it enough, so just Evermore. And I love it. So the next song is Peter, which I'm afraid to admit, I did not know the meaning, the story behind the song. Like, my brain couldn't process it for like the first week. But now that I do, I like it even more. I was a very big Peter Pan fan, so I think it's a sad song, but it's also kind of nice, and like, it's like I can see Peter Pan in real life, and it's a good song. The next song is The Bolter, and it's going to be the last song because we are skipping Robin. So The Bolter is also one of my favorites. It was one of my favorite top songs when I first listened to it, but now I have other top songs like I've been talking about. But I still think it's a very nice song. I really like the rhythm. It's kind of like fun, like kidsy fun. And I do also really like the lyrics, the storytelling. Taylor's storytelling will never be beat, in my opinion. Those are my thoughts on the album. Overall 10 out of 10, the top 5 album for me. I'm not gonna say who I think whose song is about who. I have an idea, but I honestly thought most of them were about Joe until rumors circulating about Maddie. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm just going to pretend they're about me. Like Taylor said, you say not everything's about me, but what if it is? Literally the same. Let me know your favorite song, who you think the songs are about, besides Thank You Amy, because we all know who that about is. And I'll see you very soon. Bye!